We have two big topics today, but I'll try my best to share with you some of my perspective. This by no means is an absolute information because things are very dynamic in our MICE industry. I would like to start my presentation with what we call the perception. What is your perception about Taiwan, and what is the perception of people outside Taiwan about Taiwan? This is very important because a lot of time this is a missing link and it doesn't connect with one another. I was with Kitty yesterday in the train. I said that you have people doesn't know where Taiwan is, and she said yes. When I said Taiwan, I said yeah, I've been to Bangkok. But for those who are familiar with Taiwan, of course, the image of Taipei 101, the city, beautiful city, and this is Kaohsiung, which I was there just last week, and we were in Hualien just 2 days ago, but I didn't get to see this really. The challenge is that for those that doesn't know what Taiwan is, this is where we need to go out and educate them. So of course, those that have been to Taiwan, they will talk about Taiwan food, the culture, the people of Taiwan, and so forth. And I think the challenge not only for Taiwan, for a lot of destinations which the tourism appeal is very strong. The challenge is that how do you actually change that perception from a leisure destination to a MICE destination? And why not instead talk about the beauty of Taiwan, the beef noodle? Why not we describe Taiwan as a knowledge hub, where Taiwan will be the host of the 9th World Congress of Biomechanics. More than 3,000 delegates are coming in 2022. My apologies. I want to also recognize Bureau of Foreign Trade for being here. Thank you. And if we talk about the conference that's coming to Taiwan in 2022, even the World Trade Center General Assembly or ICCA Congress, there are more things to talk about. There are so many conferences are coming to Taiwan, whether they are regional or international. One of the most prominent things is that the Rotary International, which was in Taiwan in 1994, and Taiwan will be host again in 2021. This is a huge, huge conference. For those who are not familiar with ICCA, we track meeting only organized by international association, which has a specific rotation meeting. So we saw that already 73 international meetings are coming to Taiwan between now to 2030. You can take photograph. I will also share with you the slide later on. But just to let you know, there are 5 slides that I will show later that I hope that you don't take any photograph because this has not been officially announced yet. So ICCA is one of the peak body for the industry of meetings, and the head office is based in Amsterdam. We are not IKEA, so don't get it wrong. So as I said, that we have more than 1,000 members in 96 whole countries. And Asia Pacific is considered as the largest chapter with more than 270 members and still growing. And our main focus is on the knowledge economy. We are very proud and fortunate to have ST members in Taiwan, as you can see on the slide, from Bureau of Foreign Trade to government, convention venues, PCOs, and also hotels. We hope that with the coming of ICCA Congress next year to Taiwan, we will be able to have more professional companies who are interested in the association market to join. Only those who are really keen in this market segment. This is the key reason why a lot of companies join ICCA, because of the business database that we have. The good news is that over the last 50 years, when we track the international association market, the trend has always been on the positive growth. So the 3 growth area. The 3 growth areas is that first we saw that there are about 10% annual growth. The industry doubles every 10 years, and the association conference are the least affected by the economic downturn. It's cold out there, it's cold in here. I can understand if you fall asleep. Just to give you some idea on the association market, this is how Taiwan has performed. In 2017, Taiwan is ranked number 33 in the world and has hosted 141 meetings. The top cities in Taiwan, of course, Taipei, followed by Kaohsiung, because these are 2 main cities that has more facilities for conferences. Next week, we will publish our latest statistic report. So the question is, 2016, 2017, the numbers dropped. Is it going to drop further? And this is to give an idea of some of the cities and the number of meetings that they have hosted. Therefore, there are huge potential not only for main cities like Taipei and Kaohsiung, but also smaller cities around the country, because not all meetings necessarily have to be by thousands. Some are just by hundreds or 200s and 300s. Even though our statistics and ranking are very much used by all the destinations around the world, but I must make you be aware that don't over-rely on just one perspective. We would normally encourage destinations to come up with their own research, their own statistics, because you have to look at the industry as a bigger picture. ICA tracks only meeting organized by international association, but you also have the governmental meeting, the corporate meetings, incentive groups, as well as the exhibition, which is the bigger picture. In terms of number of meetings, 2016 and 17 there's a drop, but in terms of number of delegates, that has increased. That means even though you have lesser meetings, but I think the work that you have done in terms of attendance promotion, for example, has resulted positively. From our tracking, we saw that Taiwan actually hosts more World International Rotation meeting, which means like you are hosting like a World Congress of Dental, World Congress, and so forth, compared to the Asia Pacific or the Asia Rotation. Even though the perception is that normally conferences will go to convention center, but it's actually not true, because the average size for a conference coming to Taiwan is between 400 to 500 delegates, and therefore the usage of hotel is much more preferred. Meeting must not just be looked at the number of delegates, but it must also be looked at the knowledge contribution that they gave to the local community, and also the advancement and the development of the community. A lot of time, destination would have medical conferences as their top subject for hosting, but in Taiwan, the most interesting is that you have technology and scientific meeting. So just to reflect between Taiwan and compare with some destination whether in Southeast Asia or Asia Pacific, remember that Taiwan is number 33 with 141 meetings. So Taiwan is a bit lower than Thailand, because Thailand is number 25 with 163 meetings. And then we have Singapore, followed by Malaysia, which means Taiwan performed better than Malaysia. And then we have Indonesia, far at number 40 in the world. Indonesia is a classic example because the capital city doesn't host much meeting, but the resort island of Bali has more meeting than Jakarta, for the obvious reason. This is how Philippines performed at lower 50. And this is a comparison of the 5 destinations I mentioned. Thailand at number 1, Singapore second, Taiwan is number 3, Malaysia and Indonesia. I strongly believe that for you to win more meetings in the future, it is always about the push and the pull factor. Occasionally, there are associations around the world that have pre-decided or predetermined where they want to go. So these are what I would say a push factor. They want to come to your destination. But because of the choice that they have around the world, this will become the pull factor. If you don't bid, if you don't invite, those associations will never come to your destination. In the next 10 minutes, I will take you a quick tour around Asia Pacific, starting with Australia. This is the destination that doesn't refer to business as MICE industry, but they call it business event, and they are quite matured in this particular segment. Very much like Indonesia, the capital city is not the number 1 city in Australia, that is Canberra, but Sydney is. Not only the accessibility is important for Sydney, but more importantly, the business event in Sydney or the Convention Bureau for Sydney, they are very, very focused for the association market. The Bureau collaborates with all the top association leaders, the scientists, the doctors, the professors, and work with them in order to instigate them to bring more conferences to Sydney. The CEO of Business Event Sydney is Lynn Lewis-Smith. They have published a book recently called The Power of Conferences. You can Google it online, you can download a free copy. This book is very interesting because they wrote about the legacy of the conference. Because of time constraint, I will take the tour very quickly. So we go to the next stop, that's Singapore. I believe Singapore has almost the same attribute as Taiwan. In particular, you focus into some of the economic cluster when you go out and try to bid for conferences. But I just wanted to share with you one classic example of Singapore, where about 15 years ago, Singapore hosted the World Water Congress. The event rotates around the world and comes to Singapore only once. But Singaporeans are very smart, and also there's a word called kiasu. They want more business for the destination. So from that Congress, they created what they call the Singapore International Water Week. Today, this event is the single largest event for water manufacturer, system, specialists, and so forth. The reason why I use this as an example is because Singapore doesn't have water. 80% of Singapore water come from Malaysia. So do you see how they use their weakness as their advantage? Malaysia is another part of our tour, which is unique because just 10 years ago, the government of Malaysia established a National Convention Bureau. The Bureau reports directly to the Prime Minister of the country and also the Economic Planning Unit. Even though the budget comes from the Tourism Department, they are free to undertake the activities in terms of research, bidding, and servicing conferences. What important is that they have a very clear, what they call a business event roadmap with a specific target set for all the different sectors. Thailand is a destination that has always been confused with Taiwan, Thailand. But one good thing about the Bureau, they have been established even longer than Malaysia. They are now already focusing towards the government aspiration of Thailand, that is Thailand 4.0. Again, you can see here that Thailand are focusing on the potential of the capacity building. In the interest of time, I will not cover all the destinations in Asia Pacific, but next is Japan. In Japan, there are about 85 city convention bureaus. After a comprehensive research, the government decided to appoint only a few cities as what they call the global MICE cities. Every city are linked to their expertise area. It could be bio, fuel, technical, and so forth. And I will show you some photos of people that you might not know. Professor Shinji Yamanaka, Dr. Yoshinori Osumi, Dr. Tosuku Honjo. Do you know what is the similarity that they have? They are Nobel Prize winners. This is the reason why Japan is at #1 in Asia Pacific. It's not only that they have a lot of Nobel Prize winners, because the prize winner will not bring conferences unless you start working with them. And I will go next to another destination which is famous for design and innovation, which is also referred as the capital city for the world for design and innovation. Would you like to guess where it is? We are running out of destination in Asia, so definitely it is Korea. This ranking was just released last month. I don't quite agree with it. I don't agree because I don't see Taiwan on the map. The last 1 week I was with Jason, and then I was with Kitty in Kaohsiung and Hualien. I met so many people who are very innovative, who are better than all this. I'm sure one day you will be one of the top 10 destinations. But while we are still in Korea, I just wanted to share with you this story. That this is an old building in Daegu, which is in 1938, they sell noodle. You know what company is this? And that's what the research says, because they have a lot of innovative idea. And even if you watch movie these days, a lot of the 3G, all the creative thing, if you look at the name at the back or at the end of the movie, you see a lot of Korean names coming up for that purpose. Maybe Taiwan need to bring back all your experts from the Silicon Valley back to Taiwan. And one thing that is very apparent about Korea that I see is that there is a very strong government will, especially when it comes to bidding and hosting conferences that is more than 10,000 delegates, because they have that capacity. And when they hosted the World Energy Council Congress, that is a simple statement that they want to show the world that they are the leading country and leading producer for the world renewable energy. So that's the end of my first part of my presentation. So my question to you is, you have to figure out how to keep Taiwan competitive. Do you want to open the floor for any question and answer, or?
We're going to save that for the
end. Okay,
yeah.
good. Thank you.